Hi, I'm Sydney Sawyer for Green Team News. Today we'll be looking at the historical background of the Black Lives Matter movement and its roots in the Civil Rights Movement with Dr. Carmen Harris, history professor at USC Upstate.
One of the things, if you go back to the history of slavery, and I do this when I teach my African American history class, is that you begin to see laws made that criminalize being black. So being black itself becomes the root crime. And then you have the situation of slavery and post-slavery segregation and Jim Crow, and all of these kinds of laws are laws that kind of make it a crime to be black, to say you do not deserve the same kind of rights and privileges in society as everyone else. But even as a well-educated African American woman, I have experienced the same kind of, suspicion and victimization myself just because of the color of the skin that embraces my brain. So no one really knows that I'm an intellectual and that I'm a solidly middle-class citizen. And I think that that's really part of the problem, is that we have kind of created this narrative in American society that black people are worthless, they want to be on welfare, they're not qualified for anything they get. They get affirmative action and they take jobs from people who are better qualified. So with all of these kind of pejorative images, we should not be surprised that police are part of that larger mainstream culture that imbibes all of these mythologies.
Recent protests in Ferguson, sparked by the killing of Michael Brown, has brought about the national debate of race, police force, and inequality in the national justice system. Dr. Jones, a professor at USC Upstate, has brought about the first Black Lives Matter course here on campus. Now we will go to her as she explains the motive for this class.
The Black Lives Matter class started as a conversation between faculty in women's and gender studies, sociology, history, and African American studies, and we had been following the development of all of the protests, and some of our students on campus organized a march on our campus. So there was already some interest in continuing this discussion on our campus. We wanted to involve the community, we wanted to involve as many people as possible, and so we put together this class. The events in Ferguson with the protests, the riots that happened.
Burn that motherfucker down.
Just all of the dead bodies piling up of young African American men unarmed at the hands of either police or vigilantes who were sort of taking the law into their own hands, trying to deal with this sort of criminal element, apparently in their minds. The vision of young black masculinity as criminal was something that we absolutely wanted to address. And then all of that crystallized then in the events at Ferguson. That failure to indict Darren Wilson happens. Whoever has shot this unarmed individual is to be given the benefit of the doubt that what they have done is to be looked at as non-criminal, is just absolutely, once again, crushing, just absolutely soul-crushing, and it speaks to the ways that black lives are not valued, that they in fact do not matter in African or in American culture.